Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the other videos? Another paid request this time for Arthur. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And Arthur wanted me to talk about the Hills Run Red from 2009, which I might have seen this film once when it came out, because I think I was working. Maybe not when it came out, but I know I worked at the video store, and I probably saw this on the DVD shelf, and we could rent it for free. So, okay, Hills Run Red. Obviously, the title Take on the Hills of Eyes. Okay, it's a slasher film, and just not being that impressed with it. And watch it again, while there's a couple interesting ideas, I still wasn't really that impressed with it. I mean, if you like gore, the film will work for you. Like I said, there's a couple interesting ideas. William Sadler's in the film, and I think he plays the most interesting character. I kind of wish the movie was more about him, and he had more screen time, was more of like the star of the film. But when I say some of the ideas are interesting, the initial idea, where you have this younger guy who is looking for this lost 80s horror film called The Hills Run Red. And all that's left is this trailer, this very rough trailer. And it was pulled from theaters because of X, Y, and Z reasons. William Sadler plays the director of that film, and he's been missing as well. And there's like little interviews with him left out there, again, as well as this trailer, and he's obsessed with trying to find this lost movie. He has a best friend, and he has a girlfriend. Obviously, he doesn't pay attention to his girlfriend because while our lead goes into a strip club to find the director's daughter, his girlfriend has sex with the best friend. Now, you think something else is going to happen with that? Like the lead guy's going to find out, and it's going to cause some type of friction, or it's going to cause some type of drama, or it's going to cause some type of... No, nothing really comes of that. I mean, you get some nudity, which is not bad, but really nothing else comes of that. While the guy's getting a strip tease from the William Sadler's daughter. Now, I did find some of it pretty predictable. I mean, yes, I know I'd seen the film before, but it's been so long, I did not remember anything about the movie. So it was like watch it for the first time. And when I say it was predictable, there's a certain character I see and I go, I know what they're... Spoiler alert. Well, actually, you know what? I'll get to that later. She decides to help. The four of them go out into the woods to look at filming locations. One thing leads to another. They get accosted by some rednecks, and this killer, named Babyface, just like the cover, has that baby-type mask on, kills the three rednecks, and then we're getting to almost, I don't know, maybe less than 30 minutes left of the film. Okay, I gotta get into spoilers. When I said some of it was predictable, the director's daughter being in on it, I kind of figured from the get-go. Just had a gut feeling about it. And it was true. I was right. Yep, she's in on it. This is all pre-planned. That if someone goes and finds her, then she'll take people out into the woods. And her dad lives out there. And he found out Babyface is the daughter's son, and she had the kid when she was like 13 from William Sadler, so you did some incest in there. And like from the get-go, I'm thinking, hey, Mr. Lead Obsessed Wannabe Director, you sure you want to put your trust into a drugged-up stripper? Okay. Sure, nothing else could go wrong just from that. Also, I thought I was pretty pushing it from the lead that before we, the audience, knows who she really is, he just ties the stripper up to get her clean cold turkey from the drugs. I'm like, that's pretty ballsy pushing it, where she could have just gone out and beat the hell out of you, called the cops on you, uh, canceled you, all sorts of stuff. There are times where we see little spurts of the trailer and kills from it. And, again, there's some decent looking gore. Once in a while, there's a CGI enhancement. Like, there's a person tied up to a tree, like a Saw film, and she's ripped apart. There's some CGI enhancement there. It's like they're trying at times to do a little bit of meta like Scream, but I know some are fine with not pushing it that far into it. I actually prefer the opposite. I wish they would have pushed that a bit further. I mean, the best friend says, well, you know what, people go out in the woods and they should have stayed in the city and they're not prepared and have weapons, so the guy brought a gun. But really, like, maybe part of his rule should have been know how to use a gun and keep it with you at all times and know how to aim and all that stuff, because there's a point where the best friend gets a flare to try to scare Babyface, and Babyface just takes a gun and shoots him. So, yeah, that was kind of like a fun little moment with the killer doing something common sense like. They're like, why wouldn't he do it? Okay, you don't try to put a flare on me, motherfucker. Wound, shoot you in the arm or whatever. Or I forget where he shot him. I said Babyface kills the three rednecks that cost our leads, and I mean, death scenes were fine. Not really much I haven't seen before. The acting is not that great. That's one of the issues with the film. Like the three leads, especially the lead guy, his acting is below average. Is it the worst ever? No, but I would say a bit below average. I said maybe the person that plays the director's daughter, I would say of the four, she's the better actor. And then William Sadler, like you said, when he finally enters in and you find out what's going on, where he's perfecting his film, and so they'll get real people in there and kill him, and he'll film it. And as he puts it, everybody's expendable for the good of the film. Or there's a point where his daughter has the best friend tied up and is torturing him, and William Sadler comes and says, what are you doing filming this? Torture show? Come on, where's the emotion? Like I said, William Sadler, to me, was more interesting than the Babyface villain. And I'm like, I want to see more of that character. Like when the lead character's tied down and William Sadler's among this film and stuff and explain him a bit about what he's doing, I'm like, that to me is the film. But Sally, not as much of that, and more of just at the end of the day, kind of just a run-of-the-mill slasher movie. With a lot of, I don't know what to call them, jump cuts, but editing style I wasn't the most gung-ho about. And at the end of the day, I kind of watched, I went, this wasn't for me. So how it ends, spoilers, is, the best friend's tied up and they kill him. The girlfriend is holed up somewhere and the killer's playing with her, but then he's called away and she's trapped in there. The lead guy is tied down. The daughter's getting pissed at her dad, saying, no one, I did like this line, no one cares about that subtextual shit. Get to the kill. And William Sadler goes, okay, and then shoots his own daughter. which I thought did come a bit out of nowhere, because it seemed like they probably maybe had these type of conversations before. If this is something she's done before, time and time again. So I don't know. It seemed like it just came out of nowhere that he just decided to shoot her, and of course, Babyface gets pissed and attacks William Sadler. And he doesn't really fight it. I guess going back to his line, everyone's expendable for the good of the film. And then the dumbest thing that happens is the lead guy gets out of his being tied down, right? Is he going to go try to get to his girlfriend? Is he going to go try to get a weapon? Maybe find that gun? No, he picks up a camera, starts filming it, and telling Babyface, come on, kill him. Come on, do it. Yeah, kill him. And starts filming it. I get that they established he's a bit obsessed, but this is above and beyond that. And I'm sitting there going, I mean, he wasn't the most likable character at this point, but this is just completely, utterly fucking stupid. He picks, I mean, like this camcorder, like he picks it up and he's filming. It's like, come on, do it, do it. So then he gets the shit kicked out of him, and his girlfriend stabs Babyface and saves his ass. And then William Sadler's daughter hits her in the head. So then the lead guy gets tied down, and he's in a room with all these dead bodies, like a theater. And this is the film you wanted to see. The Hills Run Red. So he sees it, and he's bleeding out, and he's laughing maniacally, ha ha ha, as he's going to bleed to death. Which, good, because he's a fucking idiot. And then credits start, then it cuts back to the lead guy's girlfriend, tied up, pregnant. I guess pregnant with the best friend's baby, I guess. Or whoever. And apparently the idea is that she's going to give birth, and then this dog's going to raise this kid to be the new Babyface. I mean, that reminds me of the ending to, what was it, The Prey? Or some other, 80s slasher films. It just, whatever. For a sequel that never happened. This didn't become a franchise. There's no Hills Run Red Part 2. Electric Boogaloo. So, I mean, I guess if you're gung-ho about gory slasher films, I mean, there's plenty of others out there. It just, other than a couple interesting ideas, like the whole search for a lost 80s horror film, which, I mean, I've seen that before with other movies. There's been some found footage films that have done that, among others. I can't remember the names of them, though, because I'm bad with names. I think one was called Fury of the Demon or something. Or a little bit of that John Carpenter Cigarette Burns, where there was a film that was shown, but it was too horrible, and it was... But granted, that dealt with a different plot ultimately compared to this. But, I mean, it had a couple... Had, I don't know, 2 or so decent lines. William Sadler was good. The rest of the... Again, the person that played his daughter, not too bad. But the leads were not really likable, were not really interesting. It felt like it took forever for it to get started. I mean, the very first shot, yes, it's a kid, and they cut it and edit it so out of it so you can't focus well, but it's a kid, like, cutting up his face. But then they'll, like, fade to this and do this, and a lot of this, like... I don't want to call it jump cutty, but editing, so you get only spurts of the image. But then it felt like it took. I mean, it felt like it almost took. Yeah, it technically wasn't an hour, but it felt like an hour before things really get going. And like I said, you're following characters that really aren't that interesting. Babyface, I don't mind the look of the villain. So at the end of the day, though, it's like whatever. That's kind of my reaction. Whatever. Wasn't a huge big fan of it. Again, it's like, whatever. Meh. That's just me, though. But I said a lot of people stand by it, and I don't know, maybe it's got a cult following or such, but it just wasn't for me. Just wasn't for me. Especially when it got to the point where the guy picks up, I'm like, well, my girlfriend is trapped, but fuck her. I'm gonna film it and film this death scene for whatever. I mean, I know he was obsessed with the film, but then the go like this seems like a very big leap. Not only leap in logic, but leap of this character. I just that like really. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.